And as we get back into the matchup, you know, Jaedong showed up in just about 2008, really, where he made a name for himself in the Liquid Star League, taking out Noni, coming up strong, and actually taking third in that tournament.
Yeah, that was a great result for someone that only had just come into the scene. He could have been well famous in Russia, but from the foreign, you know, within Europe, within America, he was unknown until that tournament. And then actually in 2009, he went on to win DreamHack Winter, which is another huge tournament in Europe. He won that nice and easy, and he has won WCG Russia last year. This year, coming first place. Not a player to be messed with.
It really isn't, but you know, Jaedong, that mid-game, the beginning, we just saw him playing against F91, and it just came out strong. 91 came out with the Zerg, or the Ling attack in the beginning. He wasn't even phased. Jaedong, cool, calm, collected, took it, and we're sure going to see that here again. I think we're going to see some bio versus lurkers, possibly. Maybe he'll go mutes, but those minerals, just to be making your Marines are going to be able to attack air, so it will Scourge, Mutalisk, Micro won't work so well.
Yeah, definitely. Jaedong has so much experience. He has played this map. I think this map is quite old, actually, considering the recent scene in Brutal. They use new maps a lot of custom maps that Koreans do make. This map, on the other hand, is quite old, so he hasn't been playing it a lot recently, but preparing for this tournament, he would have spent a lot of time on this, showing his expertise as a Korean pro gamer, going into this with no fear. The Tyrant is his nickname. That's a pretty monstrous nickname to have.
It really is, because he is. Because once he gets that Micro out, he is just so good with it. If he's able to get out the Queens, then it just makes it that much harder for him to use those 2 stacks of Mutalisk and the Queen that he brought about as one of his techniques. And Jaedong, there it is. People in the crowd wanting him to go for this game. So we're going to see Brad OK coming out of the underdog here.
Can Brad OK take the championship away from Jaedong? I know it's going to be extremely hard, as he is the best Zerg player of all time, notably. I mean, he is so good. He is one of the best of the best in Korea, always fighting for championships against Flash. And unfortunately, because of the way the bracket worked out, Flash, Jaedong, if he does take down Braddock, will have to play Flash, depending on results, in the semifinals, which is a little bit of an upset.
That will be pretty big. That would be a final match to see coming up in the end of the gameplay. But we're going to have to see it earlier than that if Jaedong can take down Braddock right here. Just getting their basics set up, going the scout out with the Overlord, obviously. And we're going to see what these guys can continue to do. We have a bottom left and a top right spawn here for these guys to work it out so far.
Yeah, so far we do see the hatch being put down on 12. And this is quite a nice opening on Fighting Spirit, because you have this really easy, defendable natural. So 12 hatch on this map is a pretty safe opening, and it wouldn't surprise me if we do see him going into like a 2-3 hatch muta build.
Yes, indeed. We are going to have to see if they do that. And actually, to come into these maps and give you a little idea of what we'll be seeing here, Braddock dropped Outsider, Jaedong dropped Destination, so your maps are going to be Fighting Spirit into Tau Cross. And then if we have your match point, it's going to be on match point.
Oh, it will. Will Jaedong be able to go beyond the game on that one?
I think he's going to. He could be. There it is.
And we do look in Braddock's base. He's actually decided to go for gas. And usually I'd expect a lot of players on this match to kind of go for like a 1-Rax Expo, you know, skipping gas for the early on and then going for it later. But he does opt to go for that, kind of showing that he will be going for like a factory build.
It is, and when he goes out, well, actually on Jaedong's side, he's going for that second expansion. Really having those hatcheries on it, yeah, it'll give you more money. It's economy, but being able to take those units.
Yeah, if we do look, he's putting down
there
a factory.
It is. Oh, a factory down.
Been put down. But look, it looks like Jaedong's actually going to scout it. I don't know, is he going to down? Oh, he sees it. Jaedong spots the hidden factory.
So that is very big right there for Jaedong. We can see him taking control of that already. He can get that SCV to go down before that building is finished, and that will leave it there. Still repairable by another SCV, but that is going to kill the time and the structure that he had coming into the match.
Yeah, this is huge by Jaedong. I mean, he went into the base, found out that he was mining gas, and was like, okay, I know you're going for a factory. Where is the factory? And then sent that drone into the middle of the map and was like, oh, you trying to play a little sneaky against me.
That is something they noticed right away, especially Jaedong at this level of play. It looks different inside the base. We can see him coming in. Another Marine now to come down. They're finally going to be able to get this up, so it will help him. However, Jaedong knows, so he's going to be able to go for this counter, possibly get that those mutes to go.
Oh, he's going for the second factory as well. Brad OK pulling out a very aggressive build. The second hatchery being put down in the base. He has to put a Sunken down to defend against this. So it's a 2 factory, 1 Rax, Marine, and Vulture harassment coming up.
So definitely wrong about the bio. He went straight for those factories off it to get some of those Marines for a little bit of defense. He's going to get these up, get some tanks out, maybe some vultures, and start doing some mine drops. However, all those overlords are going to make it real easy if Jaedong just wants to make his way back out.
Yeah, the machine bomb has come down. We have one vulture coming in. Will he be able to do anything? The Sunken is in place. I doubt he could try to run by, but it's safe just for him to sit outside and wait for the Marines. Marines are coming. The lair is also on its way.
And this is actually where Jaedong kind of met himself, not really having too many units against F91. And the Zerglings came in, but Jaedong, calm, cool, and collected, has the Sunken Colony, not really waiting, has the Zerglings. The micro of these units from, Braddock are definitely going to be a lot better than the Zerglings, though. Vultures are faster. The Marines are going to be able to stay back and just do damage while the Vulture plays with them.
Yeah, and this just shows how experienced the Jaedong is, because if I was in this situation playing this, I'd be like, uh-oh, and I'd like put down a ton of Sunkens. Right. Jaedong does put a second one down, but he's not overextending himself in terms of defense. He's just sitting there calm enough. He knows that he only needs 2 Sunkens, and it looks like a bunker is being placed down here, and he's going to try and keep Jaedong inside his base.
Wow, very big here, trying to contain. However, Jaedong already expanding. He is going to get some help from that. Nice job. He's trying to creep out now with these Sunken Colonies. He's canceled that one, pushed it out, and is hoping this one will work before he can get it down. The Marines taking up. There's a tank, and this is going to be a big containment here for Braddock on Jaedong. Very well played in the beginning of this game.
Yeah, the Spire has just begun starting out, and I love the way that he's pushing out. He's actually pushing the base back. He's got a ton of links as well. He really does need siege mode to be researched. Here it is. It goes up. He will start to do damage against these Sunkens, and he's putting a ton of pressure on Jaedong straight away. Braddock is showing some Russian spirit right now.
He really is. He went straight for ground units, although the Jaedong is known for going for those mute Scourge micro, and he is not worried about it. He does not have too many Marines to save him there inside that bunker. All he needs, he is setting up. He's going to have siege right before those spiders, so it looks like he will just go for the siege and continue to creep into the base here, as it's going to be a little bit of harassment going back towards Braddock's base.
Yeah, and Braddock has to pull all his vultures back because these links are on the way straight to his base. Jaedong decides he feels comfortable enough just with the Sunkens while Spire builds, and this vulture is there doing a ton of damage. It looks like the tank has actually been taken down as well. And here we go, he's going in the base. Jaedong takes down a vulture. He's going to be able to do a ton of damage here.
This is very big. This is where Jaedong's metagame just takes hold. He knew the whole time that siege tank was there. He had so much time to run off, get his Zerglings into the base, and do the damage that he could. Taking out a tank with 3 Zerglings and a bunker on the side. His base is safe. Just because of that bunker outside, he can still defend that easily, and a huge defensive pull by Jaedong.
That was so smart by Jaedong. He sent just the right amount of lings, considering what was in the bunker and how many hits it takes down to take down a tank. He sends just the right amount, takes down both of his tanks, and the Spire is finished. We are going to see Mutas come out, and all he has is a bunch of vultures, so Jaedong showing his expertise to us once again.
I mean, Jaedong's minerals are saying 0 every time I look at it. It might jump up a little bit, but he is spending right away, keeping his build going, not stopping, and it's going to be a pretty formidable push here. That was just really to see what he had, and he didn't like it. A lot of damage from the Sunken Colonies, and great placement there, that they're in the back, one in the front. They're going to be very hard to get to, and that's good defense by Jaedong.
Another Ling. Yo, managed to take down an SCV. That is huge. A Ling with 4 HP takes down. We'll be able to get another one. No, it does retreat. Very nice play by Jaedong, making the use of every little unit he has.
There's another siege tank, not going to look good, and he is going to have an SCV on it, but we do have some mutes coming out, so we will be able to harass with that advantage. He's going to spray that around to the units that are around him. SCV is going to help him out a lot. They're not going to be able to repair any of that tech, and it's just going to be defense here until they can really build up an army where somebody's going to push forward.
Yeah, and Jaedong's comfortable just to sit there and take down this tank. That is nice. Huge. Great win there by Jaedong. Taking that SCV that was building the turret out as well. Goliath is out here now, which will help defend against this, but I don't know, Braddock's been pushed out slowly, and Jaedong's looking pretty comfortable.
Yes, he is. We do have those Goliaths coming out of the armored assault bearer. They're going to see if they can do long-range damage with those missiles, but right now still setting up outside the base. However, Jaedong finding ways out here and there to continue to do damage. Both are harassing each other right now. 350 minerals on Braddock's side, 78 for your Jaedong's Korean play, and it is just huge that he keeps spending while still microing, sending units, creating units, and continuing his game and getting attacked at the same time.
Oh, this could be huge. Jaedong moves straight into the base. He's going straight for the Goliath. The turret is going to go down next. The second one isn't even up, and Jaedong has free roll all over the FPVs in Braddock's base. This is not looking good for our Russian terror play right now, as Jaedong causes havoc within the base.
A little too focused on the outside defense of the base. Wasn't really worried about his main. You got to know Jaedong is going for those mutes. Here comes the big push, and you can see some of the units forced back on the bridge outside Jaedong's base, and there it is, Braddock going for the GG, Braddock rather, on Fighting Spirit, the first map going to Jaewong in this PVT. Or Jaedong.
Jaewong.
Always.
That was really great play there by Jaedong. Once again, every player he comes up on stage and plays against, they throw this pressure onto him, and he sits there, soaks it all up, and then pushes with a brilliant counterattack, and just shows us why he is the current WCG champion.
It really is, and it's his focus on gameplay and strategy on not taking things too quickly. Like I said, he was getting siege tanked. He managed to run Lings out. Usually you'd stop and get the siege tank, but he knew with the economy that was being spent and put in front of his base, there was not going to be much inside Braddock's base. So he got those Zerglings out, knowing the time of that siege tank would take out 2 sunken colonies, but he was going to be able to wreak havoc on SCVs and destroy that economy.
Yeah, that was a brilliant play. And I just love the way that Jaedong scouted in the base, saw the factory, and then moved down with his drone and was like, alright, where is this factory hiding? And he spotted it in the perfect position, throwing Braddock's strategy straight out the window, and unfortunately it didn't quite work for him. He went in with a really cool strategy, it just didn't work.
Alright, we're going to have your next match coming up. I'd like to give a big thanks to Reddit gaming community for tuning in. These guys love to watch and support esports. There's a thread on Reddit. Make sure to upvote it, and please go to that and check it out.